Hello friends and fellow gamers! As you can see, the subathon is still going. This is the third event review I've done now whilst the subathon has been live. If you haven't joined us, that can be found at twitch.tv/MKxJUMP. I'm literally live all of the time, sometimes asleep, sometimes making food, sometimes playing other games, and oftentimes playing Idle Heroes. And today you've joined me to talk about this week's event for Idle Heroes and the brand new Transcendence hero, MKxJUMP, the Star Alchemist. So we're going to be taking a look at all of that today. So folks, let's go in there and check out this week's Heroic Summons event. So, just like every other Heroic Summons event, we're going to get 3 Heroic Summon Scrolls for logging in. You have 2 choices. Use them this event, or save them for another one. And whether you're free to play or a spender, I will be hopefully answering the question of whether you should use your scrolls this event or not, because it's going to be a question everybody asks, because it's the most frequently asked question I get during Heroic Summons events, so I will be answering that today. As well, we need to go and take a look at all the things we're getting. Rejoice! It is back! There is no new hero this week, because instead you get to pick your prayer hero. Yeah! So to do that, you have to go to the summon circle, press the plus button, which is actually behind me, so it's like behind me, but trust me, it's there. You click it, and then you get a list of every single hero. You can filter by faction, and you can choose someone. Now, there's 3 choices you need to make. Choice 1 is go for a light and dark hero because they're the hardest and rarest to find in the game. Choice 2 is go for MKxJUMP, which will be clear in the future because you actually need to build him this event to get the max rewards. Or there's secret option number 3, which is for people that don't have a lot of Heroic Summon Scrolls and don't really think they're going to use any of them. You actually should go into your hero shards, click on this, and then find a hero that you have a lot of copies of. In my case, it's probably Garuda. Look at this. I have a whopping 12 copies of Garuda, and you might be thinking, where the heck is MK going with this? Some of you might already know. We have a little part of this event, which is called the Hero Lottery, and whenever you get a copy of the hero you choose, you're going to get 4-star armor. So if you choose someone of which you have lots of copies in the bag, you can literally just go and pull them from the bag, get tons of 4-star armor, and then, ta-da, you didn't have to do anything, and you can save all your scrolls and still get a ton of rewards. So that's a little thing to do if you don't plan on using any scrolls this event. Nice little hack, nice little trick. For those of you who are using your scrolls, you either want to go for MKxJUMP or a light and dark hero. Maybe you're going to pick someone weird that you need to go ahead and build because you don't need to build any light and dark heroes. That's fine too. Totally understand if it's someone crazy and hard to get like an elite hero. Just please don't choose someone really janky just because you don't care, right? Don't put Corpse Demon in there, for example. Like, well, what are you doing? Like, pick someone sensible. Anyway, let's go to the next things. We've got the Palace of Eternity and the Palace of Crystal. These 2 things go hand in hand. Every time you do 400 summons, you're going to get 5 crystals. So you're going to get 10 for 800, etc., 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 blah, 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 blah. That's all going to stack. And then you can use these crystals in the Palace of Eternity by choosing any of the recently released heroes. That's Siahu, Annabelle, Eos, MKxJUMP, and Natasha. And of course, it's going to let you spend 10 to swap that 5-star copy into a 5-star copy of the hero you chose for this event. So again, if you want to go ahead and just swap for an E5, and that's the part of this event you want to do, you can literally choose any hero in the game, pop them in, Palace of Eternity, click the button, ta-da, you swapped them. Bear in mind, it's 10 for each 5-star up to E5, and then it gets a little more expensive after that. So for example, if you have like an E5 Annabelle, and you're bored of her and you wanted to make her an E5 Eos, you can select Eos as your avatar hero, whatever it's called, prayer hero, and then you can go ahead and spend 90 of these crystals to swap that E5 Annabelle into an Eos. And that's how it works. Pretty simple. Anyway, you can get yourself more of these crystals by unlocking this area down below. And to do that, you need to go to the value package and spend a whopping 5,000 VIP XP or 100 US big ones. And that will get you the Palace Key. Yes, it's expensive. Is it worth it? I don't know. Do you like spending money? Maybe it's worth it. Do you not like spending money? Then no, just save your cash like well, most people do who are budget and free to play. You do get a lot of gems, though, and you do get a lot of scrolls, so for some of you, this is attractive. For most of you, it's not. Whether you spend is up to you. I'm not going to tell you to spend because, well, that's not my job. I'm not a promotional advisor person for DH Games. I do not tell you to buy anything. I'm not paid by them. I'm not endorsed. If something looks like good value, I'll tell you. This is meh. If you want it, get it. If you don't want it, don't get it. Moving on, we've got the Hero Lottery. Already spoken about this. Whenever you get your prayer hero, you go ahead and grab that. And we've got the summon prizes. This is where all the interesting stuff begins. Every time you do a heroic summon scroll, you're going to get rewards. 50 of them gets you prophet orbs and scrolls. 100 of them gets you prophet orbs and scrolls. 200 of them gets you prophet orbs and scrolls. And a copy of Rosa. Weird choice, but he's in there. 300 is going to get you prophet orbs, soul symbols. Very nice. Good for swapping. And you get yourself a core of Transcendence. Very cool. 400 is going to get you the hero you originally chose. Love that. And 500 is going to get you 15 glorious relics and a core of Transcendence. So slowly a way to build up materials to go and buy an artifact, and of course a core to help you in the void. Lovely stuff, and you can complete this up to 4 times to get these rewards, so a total of 2,000 heroic summon scrolls. Yes, that's a lot. Should you use that many? Well, stay tuned and I'll talk about how many scrolls you should use this event if you've got some saved. Moving down though, we've got the Hero Exchange event, and I hate this so much. I moaned about this last week, and I still don't know why they did it. Hero Exchange is an opportunity for DH Games to give us heroes we can't normally get in the altar. So this week, they decided to give us Aspen and Asmodel, even though we can already buy them, and to make it worth it, they've given it for 500 off, which is just a 10% discount. Is anyone going to buy this? No! It's so dumb. Maybe if you need your last copy of Aspen, but I've sat on 23,000 altar stones for I don't know how long. Like, I've been way above 20,000 for weeks and weeks, waiting for something to buy, and they just keep giving us crap. I want to see someone like Holmes Young in here that I can grab. Seer Who, heroes that I want. These are not heroes that I want. They're just in the way and tedious, and it means we have to wait another month to potentially get something good. Why Aspen and Asmodel, I have no idea. Someone was asleep at the wheel, and for some reason DH Games thinks this is a good idea. It's not. What are you doing? Let's move on to the other stuff. We have a Transcendence hero, so when we get a brand new Transcendence hero, we get a ton of extra rewards, and this is super standard. In fact, it's standardized now. Expect every time there's a new Transcendence hero for this style of event to happen. You can collect these things, which are unique for the hero. These are called Stardust Potions. They're Holmes' fancy material you need to collect this week to get some extra rewards. You can get them in various ways. For doing 10 Heroic Summon Scrolls, you'll get 1 up to 150 times. So that's 1,500 scrolls. Common question. People say, well, should I use 1,500 scrolls? Well, let's go look at the shop a little later on and see if it's actually worth doing that many. In addition, if you obtain yourself a 5-star hero from anywhere at all, it can be from the Fusion Circle, it can be from the Creation Circle, it can be from Summons, it can be from a Transcendent Compass. It doesn't matter as long as it's a 5-star hero, even if it's pulled out of a shard. Who cares? You get yourself one of these potions up to 30 times. So that's 30 potions you can get for free, pretty much. If you get yourself 5-star Holmes Young activating in the gallery, that's 5. If you get a 6-star one, that's 5 more. And if you get a 10-star one, that's 10 more. So that's 20 you can get just for having 10-star Holmes Young. So let's do some maths. You can get yourself 50 here without using any scrolls for free, assuming you build Holmes Young. You can also get another 150 up here for using 1,500 scrolls. So that's 200 of these potions you can collect without spending any money to go ahead and cash in for rewards. So what are the rewards? Well, for 80, you can get yourself a 10-star light puppet. For 40, you can get this. I like this, actually. I think this is a nice chest. It gives you any hero available in the game. Should you get it? Probably not, because the other rewards are just that much better. We have here a mysterious artifact selection chest for 150. You can buy that up to twice. And for 120, you can get the glorious flag selection chest. Now, things have started to get a bit interesting, because last week, you might remember, if you spent money, you got material selection chests and flags. So that was kind of okay because you were being rewarded with both, so you didn't have to choose between them. This is slightly more problematic. Now people are being forced to choose whether they want mysterious artifact selection chests, which in my mind is always the correct pick because these are used on your heroes to make them do stuff, or you go ahead and you go with the glorious flags, which are put on heroes you're not using to make the heroes you are using slightly better, which is less effective than actual good artifacts. So I'm really conflicted by this, because whenever would you want to go and not get a mysterious artifact and choose these flags over it? Well, the answer to that question is if you already have a crap load of artifacts. Who on earth has a crap load of mysterious artifacts? Whales who have spent loads and loads and loads on the game, or people that have been playing for like 4 years. It's annoying when most of the new people and people playing this game really aren't in that position. So for the majority of you, get these artifact selection chests. For those of you that want to go with the flags, you know who you are, so you don't need me to tell you to get them. Everybody else, though, who needs to be told, go for the mysterious artifact selection chests. And then finally, we have this, the Cloud Island chest. You can buy this once. It's going to get you some resources. It's cute, but you can get it. You don't have to get it. It's just going to make your tenants slightly better. Either way, if you buy all of this, you're going to get 30 cores of Transcendence, 200 glorious relics, and a whopping massive chest that gives a ton of resources. Is it worth doing that, though? Well, if you want to spend a ton of money, that's on you. I'm not going to encourage it. Because actually, guys, there's one thing I forgot to mention. For every 50 VIP experience or dollar spent, you get yourself another one of these starters potions. So you can spend $650 this event and actually go ahead and max out all of this and grab it all. That's kind of cool. But for the majority of people, the thing you should be aiming for is this mysterious artifact selection chest. And to get that, you might remember, you can get 150 of them just by doing scrolls. So if there's no way that you can get Holmes Young built to 10-star this event, you could use 1,500 scrolls. But let me draw your attention to the fact that if you do build a 10-star Holmes Young, you can get yourself a whopping additional 20, and let's not forget that you also get some for obtaining a 5-star hero. So in reality, it shouldn't be difficult for you to get 50 of them if you build a 10-star Holmes, and then the other 100 is going to come from scrolls. And that's important because that's 1,000 scrolls. For those of you that know how these events work, there is going to be a pity system once you've selected your hero, which means every 500 summons you're guaranteed a copy of the hero you choose. Now, if you choose Holmes Young, you're guaranteed to get a copy of him at 500 and at 1000. So that's 2 copies of Holmes Young that you can pick up. Now, also remind yourself from the summon prices at 400, you're also going to get a copy of that hero. So for 400 and again at 900, you'll get a copy of Holmes Young. If you're with me at this point, we've gotten 4 copies of Holmes Young so far. The smart amongst you would say, well, MK, 4 copies isn't 5 copies, so how am I building a 10-star Holmes Young? Well, if you go ahead and do 800 summons, you're going to get 10 Eternal Crystals, which you can then use to swap for the final copy of Holmes Young if you get unlucky and you don't get that final copy of Holmes Young from your summons. So there you go. That's how you get 5 copies of Holmes Young to build them to 10-star this event using 1,000 scrolls. If, on the other hand, you're a player who doesn't have 1,000 heroic summon scrolls, what should you do? Well, you should take a strong look at this event and go, right. This is why everyone says I need to save scrolls. Because if I save 1,000, I can then use them as part of an event like this and get myself a mysterious artifact selection chest. Let this be a lesson to those of you who cannot save scrolls, that saving scrolls is very important. Because if you have 1,000 scrolls, you get yourself an artifact. There's going to be another group of you who turn around and say, well, actually, I've got 1,000 scrolls, but anniversary is in 3 months' time, in the middle of June. That is very true. Anniversary could potentially give you a lot of amazing rewards. But let's remind ourselves real quick that Chinese New Year and Christmas are both these incredibly big events, and they too require you to spend 1,000 scrolls, or at least they did for last Chinese New Year and last Christmas. It seems that DH Games is trending towards giving us rewards at 1,000 scrolls rather than 2,000 scrolls, because that means people are more likely to be able to go in on events like this. So my advice would be, if you have 1,000 scrolls and you really want to get yourself an artifact chest now, use those 1,000 scrolls. Because for me, if you cash in 1,000 scrolls and get an artifact chest, that is good. And if a future event comes along, and you can cash in 1,000 scrolls for a bunch of stuff, but you don't get an artifact chest, that's bad. Free-to-play players should think like this. Every 1,000 scrolls that you save up equals 1 fancy artifact. As long as you have that mindset, whenever you have an event like this where you can cash in 1,000 scrolls, and if you play it right and build that 10-star Holmes, get yourself a mysterious artifact, that's a good event. So for those of you that have 1,000, yippee, it's artifact time. Now, there's other stuff available this week as well. It's got Holmes Young, Vesa, and all this stuff. Basically, the way this works, it's a way of getting some additional bonus rewards if you've got friends. Fortunately, you're a member of this community, so join us on Discord, join all the different places. There's Facebook groups, there's Reddit, there's Barry's Discord, there's the Idle Discord itself, which is the Idle Community Discord discussion place. I don't remember what it's called, but there's Discords everywhere. There's loads of other online places where you basically can go find someone who has all of the Transcendence heroes. Now, why am I telling you to do this? Well, if you fight someone who has all of the Transcendence heroes listed here, you you get bonus rewards. If you fight someone with HomeJung and Vesa, you'll get an Elite Hero shot. If they've got HomeJung and Jara, you get an Elite Hero shot. If they've got HomeJung and Aspen, you'll get a Dark Elite Hero shot. And if they've got HomeJung and Asmodel the Dauntless, you'll get a Light Hero shot. If they've got Eos and HomeJung, you get 5 cores. That's really nice. And if you deploy HomeJung 10 times, you'll get yourself an Imminent Hero Selection chest. Oh, that's not... Oh, wait, no. That means you need to have HomeJung. That's probably not going to happen. So, that's nice if you can do it. No worries if you can't. And finally, I like this one at the bottom. It says, complete a battle with 8 different Transcendence heroes involved. You're thinking, wow, how the heck am I supposed to do that? Well, established players... If you've got Halora and Sword Flash, which most people do if they have 2 Transcendence heroes, you'll notice that all the ones mentioned above didn't include Halora and Sword Flash, so you should hopefully be able to find someone who has all the other 6 on their lineup, and then attack them whilst you use Sword Flash and Halora, and you will get all these bonus rewards that comes to the tune of 100 Glorious Relics, which you can cash in eventually for an artifact of your choosing in the artifact shop. But you know where you can also cash them in, guys? Here, the Flash Sale. For some reason, DH Games have decided that the value of these flags is 300 relics. You know what I was talking about pitting mysterious artifacts against flags? Well, they're doing it again here. What would you rather do? 400 relics for another copy of Demon Bell to get you one step closer to a load of energy feed, or a flag? Now, I'm very vocal that I think the addition of these flags in the game is a bit tedious. But there are people who do need these flags. And by need, I mean you already have too many artifacts and therefore flags are the only attractive thing to you. These people probably do want to get a load of flags. Most people probably don't. But, now here's a big but. If you were ever tempted to pick up a Kiss of Ghost, which is an artifact that you can find over here that offers good HP and good attack. Now, if you were ever tempted to grab this artifact to use it on one of your heroes who is a tenant to boost their stats, well, congratulations, you can save yourself some relics and instead grab one of these flags. Most people wouldn't dream of grabbing a Kiss of Ghost, because most people don't have the excess resources to choose an artifact like Kiss of Ghost when they're choosing artifacts. But for those of you that do, happy days, you can get a flag. That's about it. I don't like these flags, though. DH Games, if you're watching, what I would want is for all these flags to be exactly the same. Why are they broken down in classes? It just limits their usefulness. I would like flags so much more if they were just a flag that I could use on a tenant, and the extra bonus they got was just simply because I'd upgraded it to Glittery, Radiant, and Splendid. There is no reason to break these down as class-specific, apart from for you to make a frick load of money because you're greedy mofos. Just make a standard flag. Give everyone their money back, or at least just swap their flags into just this one flag. Make it just standard, right? Just a standard flag that I can put on Sia, or I can put on Halora, or I can put on Siahu, or I can put on anyone from any faction and still get all the rewards, because it makes it way more useful, way more versatile, and I would probably be more likely to buy it because it's more useful. If you agree with me, guys, let me know in the comment section, because I'm telling you, these flags are so limiting and a little bit of a mind melter that I find investing in them furious, but I know at some point when I reach that end game stage, I'm going to have to grab them, and that makes me sad. But I also know by that stage they'll be a heck of a lot cheaper, so happy days. And finally, guys, if you've got some money to burn, you can get yourself these. It's basically glorified cores packages with extra stuff. For 50 bucks, you get yourself 15 cores like normal, but instead you get some relics and some gems. For 100 bucks, you get 30 cores like normal, but this time you get 100 relics and 500,000 stellar shards. Is it worth it? Well, do you normally buy cores? If yes, great. You just got more stuff for your money. If no, don't buy these. The only reason you would possibly buy these is if you needed more stuff to bump up your VIP XP spent this week to get more Stardust Potions, because you wanted to go ahead and get more stuff from this shop. If that's something you want to do, and you've got spare cash to burn, go ahead. But if you don't, that's fine. Either way, though, that's the event. Let's go talk about the new guy on the block, this fancy-pantsy Transcendence Holmes. Now, his skills are pretty deep. So we're going to try and whiz through them in a way that hopefully you all understand, but just know that his speed is 1289, which means he's as fast as most Transcendence heroes, although Halora is faster, as she is the fastest hero in the game, coming in at 1292. But no one is surprised by that because Halora is just quick, and everybody else is either 1280 or 1289. So standard stuff for him there. And let's go take a look at these skills. So we have the Touch of Memory. This is going to change his basic attack to dealing 800% of attack damage to 3 random enemies, poisoning them for a further 800 damage, and that poison will last for 6 rounds. As well, he has a chance to give himself a Void Extraction Potion and a Star Prophecy Potion. We'll talk about those potions in a bit. Basically, just think of his basic attack becomes a big way of dealing damage over time, and that's important because damage over time is actually a strong theme to this new hero, and that matters, and I'll explain why soon. Either way, let's look at his next ability, the Eye of Destiny. When a battle begins or at the end of each round, excellent start. Abilities that are just triggered at the start of fights or at the end of rounds are good. He's going to get himself a Void Extraction Potion and a Star Prophecy Potion. So he's guaranteed to pick these up, which is pretty darn good. And in addition, there's a 30% chance he grabs himself 1 additional bottle. However, these potions must be used the turn you get them. Either way, you're getting a bunch of these potions to make his active skill more potent, and we will get to his active skill in a second. Next, he has the passive, the Portal of Stars. For every 6 rounds, he's going to gain 2 bottles of Void Extraction and Star Prophecy Potion. For every 6 rounds. That means he needs to be on the field for 6 rounds. Conveniently, though, that number gets reduced by his active skill, which we'll take a look at in a second. Whilst he does that, he's going to debuff himself. Just a flat debuff gets removed, which is good. And restores his own energy by 100, so he gets 100 energy. And heals himself half of his health. Seems good. So basically, if he's on the field long enough, he's going to purify himself, and he's going to go ahead and heal himself. So it's interesting sustain, but it's slow. Also, he's going to gain 20% damage dealt for 3 rounds. Again, that's slow, and 3 rounds isn't that long, assuming he's been on the board for now, well, 6 rounds. Bit of a weird ability. Not sure I'm a fan of it. I think it's a little too slow to be good, but it does speed up in his active skill, as you'll see. His active skill deals 1200% of attack damage to backline enemies, only the backline bear in mind, and then poisons all enemies for 800% for 6 rounds. Meanwhile, he's going to give himself all the bonuses from his potions. So the Void Extraction Potion are going to deal an extra 1200% damage to backline enemies, so again, the backline. So put your save heroes at the front is the best way to think about this. And also, he's going to poison all enemies for another 1200% of attack damage for 6 rounds. That's a lot of damage over time. Meanwhile, the damage over time is increased by 30% for 2 enemies with the lowest HP. That's amazing. So he's buffing damage over time. And if he uses 2 bottles or more, that damage over time is increased by a further 30% for all enemies. Epic. I love that so much. As well, he's going to consume Star Prophecy Potions, and they have a 100% chance to inflict Perceptual Disorder to 1 enemy with the highest attack for 2 rounds. And Perceptual Disorder says, during the period within which it's active, it is going to change a hero's active and basic skill to an ability where they poison one of their allies at random, dealing 1000% of attack damage for 6 rounds. However, this is ineffective against bosses. Now, that is immediately terrible, because a lot of people were hoping that this hero was going to be really good to help out your Sword Flash in Seal Land. And one of the most important abilities we need him to do is to go and shut down the damage that bosses do, because we wanted a CC hero. But unfortunately, the most problematic hero or enemy that you fight in Seal Land is the big guy in the middle. He's counted as a boss, and unfortunately because of that, that means this ability is not going to shut him down. Therefore, he is just not as good as a normal HomeXJUMP, because a normal HomeXJUMP is going to just dove all the little guys. I would rather dove all the little guys than go ahead and shut down one person simply for the reason that, oh, they're going to now poison an ally instead of just doing a basic. So he's not that good for what we needed him to be good at. If instead they removed that bracket there and he could shut down the boss, that would be dope. Basically, think of this as a CC that isn't a CC. It shuts down your opponent's abilities just like as if they were CC'd, but it is a skill effect. And that means it can't be removed by Control Purify, which means this is good in game modes where Purify is a thing. And that is PvP. So if you want to go and shut down the highest attack hero that your opponent has, he can do that. Nice ability, but terrible for what I wanted it to be good at. In addition, if you use 2 bottles or more of the Star Prophecy Potion, you can actually affect another hero with Perceptual Disorder too, but there's only a 65% chance to do that, and it's going to be the other enemy with the highest attack, which is quite nice. Also, he's going to increase all allies' attack by 20%, and their speed by 10. So he's like a mini Belrain, really, if he gets this fancy active skill off, which is nice. It's going to buff your speed and buff your attack. And also, he's going to reduce the cooldown of the Portal of Stars. And also, the Prophecy Potion in its normal form does that as well. So basically, he has the chance to reduce the number of rounds he needs to be on the field for to go ahead and get this effect. And when the effect triggers, that time will reset. So that's kind of sweet, because it means he's going to get that heal, he's going to get that purify, he's going to get that energy quicker. So, is MKxJUMP going to be a good hero? I don't think he's going to help you as much in Seal Land as you'd hope, mainly because that ability to shut down the opponent doesn't work how we need it to, because it doesn't shut down the boss, but it will target the boss, and that makes it a little useless. But look at all the damage over time he's doing. We have so much damage over time, whether it's from the basic, from the passives, from the active skills. Look at all the damage over time. And he increases damage over time as well. Also, let me draw your attention to Halora. Halora also has a ton of damage over time, but hers comes in the form of bleed. And let me draw your attention to Eos. Eos, the Sun Devourer, does a ton of burn. So the astute of you will go, hang on a second, we've got poison, bleed, and burn. That is a lot of damage over time. And you know what people aren't using in PvP at the moment? Damage over time purify. That means you can run Halora, Eos, and MKxJUMP on a team together where they deal a ton of damage over time to your opponent and melt them. So if you're a PvP player looking for a nice way to move into the next meta for the PvP, I think it's going to be running a Star Alchemist MKxJUMP with an Eos with a Halora. Other heroes you can add will be people like maybe Vesa, maybe Aspen, because Aspen is crazy good, Rogans, maybe even carries. Maybe you want to go to the old-style Seahu teams, but do bear in mind, damage over time cannot be blocked. So it's very exciting to see that we have a damage-dealing style right now that's becoming very popular amongst heroes that can't be stopped by Seahu, and it means Seahu's not going to be as effective because you can just melt through teams and they're not going to be on the board as long as they need to. In addition, damage over time has lots of different forms, and that means it's going to wreck Unbending Will, which means opponents are going to drop even easier. So if you need a hero to run as part of a big damage over time team, MKxJUMP is going to be really nice for that. So that's what I think his usefulness will be in PvP for shenanigans with Eos and with Halora. If you can only run one, though, my mindset would still lead towards Halora and Eos. I think MKxJUMP is the third hero you would choose if you were building in damage over time heroes to your team, because I just think Eos and Halora offer more for everyone, or as their own are built much better. But seeing as you can only run one of each Transcendence hero, running a MKxJUMP in there as well is not going to hurt. But of course, I would choose him third. Does that mean he's the third Transcendence hero to pick? Well, I still think going for Sword Flash first is a good idea too. So there you go. That's my thoughts about him in PvP. And the last thing I'm going to say is, should you use him? Should you build him? Should you build him as a first Transcendence hero? No. I still think Sword Flash is definitely the best first Transcendence hero, and then I think going for Halora next is the right play, and then go for heroes that can help you in the overall PvE game modes like Vortex or maybe the Realms Gate first. Let's go and focus on the final thing we need to talk about, and that's next week's event from the event preview. Say hello to Imp's Adventure, and a shelter mission that's giving Inosuke, Tix, Gloria, Delacium, Drake, we like that, and Tussalago. Interesting. Now I'm saying interesting for a reason none of you would expect. Do you know that new account I started, the IHXC? Well, I want to get a lot of assassins. Tussalago's an assassin. She might be good, so funnily enough on that account, I might pick her up next week. But will I pick her up on any actual normal Idle Heroes account? God, no, she's trash. But either way, getting a Drake next week's nice, Delacium's good fun, and Inosuke is kind of helpful, and you get a Tix who can steal attack from opponents that are bosses, so that's going to be pretty good too. Gloria has her uses, but generally she's not that great, but she is a tenant for Sword Flash, so there is that. So it's a good shelter mission, we've got Imp's Adventure, and that is all I can tell you. There's literally no more information about next week's event. It's pretty simple. That's cute though. Simple is nice. Quiet event next week. But this week, some good stuff. Let me know if you guys are going to cash in 1,000 scrolls and pick up a brand new artifact. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe you're saving for anniversary. Either way, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to catch these account reviews, join us every single Friday here on YouTube by subscribing. And as well, if you want to check out all my content live and see the crazy stuff that's been happening in stream, I am live every single moment of the day, no matter what, provided this subathon continues. And folks, that means you can literally go straight onto my Twitch channel right now and I will be live. Come say hi. I'd love to see you. Either way, folks, I'll see you in the next one. Happy idling.